Hey guys, I'm Shifty, and I've been a professional Overwatch coach for the past 3 years. I've helped elevate half a dozen players into the Overwatch League already. Now you can't pop off as Widowmaker unless you know where and when to take the best angles. And after watching this video, you're finally going to understand a bunch of the decision making that great Widowmakers take advantage of that you probably never thought about when you're autopiloting in your own comp games. This video, we're going to be watching the real Kenzo, so be sure to check out his channel linked below. At the very beginning of this map, you're going to hook onto top of this train and make sure that there's anyone being greedy, careless, or trying to scout information as we come out of spawn gets instantly punished to be able to get an early advantage if possible. Unfortunately, in this case, no one is being greedy enough to poke their heads out. However, with this information, we can now assume that they're most likely going to be holding on top of the gas station. Now, when they do this, they're likely going to have some sort of shield, either Reinhardt or Orisa, sometimes a Winston. So you be very patient and look for opportunities to get either over or around that shield and still try to get that advantage. There's a shield we're looking for, but we don't want to be too aggressive yet because we don't know what the enemy team has. During this time, you want to respect the possibility that the enemy team could have another Widowmaker, Hanzo, or some sort of threat that could take you out if you're too aggressive. And in this case, hiding behind a shield would not give you the best opportunity to win that duel. So part of this is getting information, and the other part is looking for opportunities to punish the enemy team for poor positioning. We know that they have an Ashe, a Lucio, and a Rein. Ashe could be a threat to us depending on their skill level and whether or not they are being pocketed by a Mercy. However, unless they are really good and they're being pocketed by that Mercy, we will have that advantage on the Ashe, especially at any sort of medium to long ranges. We've given our time to be able to push forward on this payload so that our team can be a part of the fight, and we want to make sure that the enemy team doesn't completely focus on us. We could have gotten on top of this area quicker or gotten to an angle where we could see more quicker, but that would have put us a big target on our head. We don't want that. We want the team to be distracted by our team while we pick them off when they're not even looking. We've also waited 15 seconds over here. We now know what threats we have to worry about. They're running a Goats-like composition with a Ashe here. Now, with this, we know what threats we have to worry about. Ashe is really the only thing we have to worry about. So with no flankers to speak of, no damage boost for this Ashe, we should be pretty free to take whatever angles we want. And with that information, we can be more aggressive. What you want to do here is use this bridge as a launching platform for our first hook shot. During this hook shot, most of the time, Reinhardt is going to be shielding. And while he's shielding, we're going to looking to get up and over that shield for a shot. Any little head that pokes up above that shield, thanks to our vertical advantage, gives us an opportunity to get a pick early. It also means that anyone from this side of the shield, or further back than normal, is going to be free to get a shot on top of. Luckily for us, this Reinhardt decided now was a good time to fire strike. And we took advantage of his mistake by getting a free pick on the Ashe. With the Ashe gone, we have no long range worries whatsoever. And we can take whatever angle we want without fear of retaliation. With no grapple hook available, we're going to be playing on the low ground with minimal value, thanks to this shield in our face, until our team puts a distraction on the enemy team and we can rotate to the right, taking the right side angle. Reinhardt's down, and now we're free. Kill the Brig, grapple hook up, and during this grapple hook, we do this grapple hook so that we can hit the people on this side of the high ground, because they would not be in line of sight of us otherwise. We have two really good options here. And when you're using a grapple hook for the hook shot, you want to let the momentum of the rise and fall of your grapple hook do the work for your vertical aiming. So all you have to do is aim your cursor horizontally near the middle of your target and let the momentum of your grapple hook take your target and line up their head. In this case, we're going to both use the upwards momentum to be able to get onto the Zarya for a nice shot, and then the downward momentum to maybe get one more Hail Mary shot at the Ana on the way back down. And we hit both. Watch this in slow motion and see how he lines it up horizontally and lets the vertical momentum help with both of these shots. 1 and 2. So when you're using the vertical momentum of your hook shot, you're really just timing it. The only thing you have to worry about is that horizontal alignment. After we've killed multiple targets, you have to be aware of the status of the fight and what areas you can control and what areas the enemy team is likely to come back to. After you look for the cleanup here, now we just position ourselves for the response. And this is important, knowing what routes they're likely going to be coming back to. So, on this particular point, they have 3 options. A, this high ground area. This is where the vast majority of people come back to. They think it's safer, it's quicker due to their route, and knowing that it's the most popular route and it's a high ground area, this is where you want to focus most of your attention to. B, the road less traveled. They can also take a similar route on the low ground. The problem with that is it's more of a choke point, it's on the low ground, and more easily aggressed by anyone that can't deal with the high ground as easily. And then you've got C, the flank route. This area takes the longest to get to and can be dangerous because it can be easily pushed by the low ground and it's very separated from these 2 areas. However, it's where any flanker would go if they want to put pressure on the Widowmaker, aka you. So you need to be aware of what flanker potentials you have between fights. It's a good idea to hit tab and check to see if they make any swaps, thanks to the fact that they now know we have a Widowmaker and a Genji and know our composition. Expect swaps after you win the first fight. Knowing that most of them come from the top here, you want to focus your attention here primarily. You want to look for movement on the bottom, and you want to have your ears available to be aware of any flanks on the sides here that you can't cover. If you do get in trouble, you want to know exactly what you're going to do when you get into that trouble. 1, if you get in trouble and the flanker gets on top of you, you can hook over here on top of the high ground. This is not a great area, because since they're likely going to be coming from over this angle, they're likely going to have control over this space at some point. So make sure that they do not, if you choose to use this particular route. B, you can go down here into the Mega. This is the ultra safe conservative route. And C, we can hook over to this angle. And if you hook this way, you get an angle that's far enough away that's going to be comfortable to be able to shoot on your target that was flanking you, and you can rotate around the side you were earlier to get shots from this angle. Regardless of that fact, if you do not have any pressure, this angle we're currently at should be able to have perfect line of sight out of the majority of where the fight takes place. Now, it's really important to see how, even though our Reinhardt comes over here, we don't get distracted by it. The Reinhardt here is way too far forward, and we're able to punish the Ashe that gets in front of the shield. We literally put ourselves to the left here so that we have more of an angle that is not protected by the Reinhardt. Both Lucio and Ashe are going to be vulnerable thanks to poor positioning by the Reinhardt and carelessness by both of these 2 heroes by not respecting the Widowmaker. And 2 easy shots clicking on the head, just making it look easy. We're not getting greedy. We're just looking to see what sort of shots we can have from our safe positioning while our ears are covering that left side flank in case anything comes after us. Another fight easily won. Now once the fight's won, understand that there were people that were coming back to the fight that are now trying to run away now that we've clearly had a clear advantage. During this time, you want to take a forward positioning and try to clean up these kills. When you do try to push into here, you have 3 options. 1, this way on the left side. 2, wait for the doors open and get the main. Or 3, high ground. Because we're going after respawn kills, we want to take the quickest route out there as possible. Left side is perfectly fine. You go out there, see what you can get, see what respawn kills you can get. Do not stay on payload. That is not something that you want to do after you win a fight. You want to take space and you want to be able to get these staggered kills. Top left is going to be the best angle long term, but it takes too long to get there, even with our hook available. So we want to make sure that they don't get a chance to get away. Opportunities for the Ana twice here, and trying to focus on the turret's a good thing, but this bubble thing on the left side, that's a problem. Now, luckily, we are near our team. We're on the payload. We have some peel available, but be aware that if there's a brig, which is what it is on the left side here, and we don't have available the peel for us, make sure to have an escape route available whenever we get pressured here. And here's where we stay a little bit too long on the low ground. We don't have much of an angle on the Brig or the Zarya, and we don't really like this line of sight. We don't like these targets. Our team is on the front here. Their focus will be on the front. We're taking fights at close range for the most part. This is not where Widowmaker shines. So what we're going to do is we're going to relocate to the top right, optimal angle, and try to get this flank position while our team keeps them busy in the front. Popping our walls, we're able to use this to our advantage and just wait for them to come to our cursor. Everything's great so far until this. Let's watch that one more time. Let them come in the cursor. 2 kills easy. We've won this fight. We just need to play a little bit more conservative. We get really greedy. We see, hey, there's an Ana here. I'd like to kill this Ana, but she's not my line of sight. So I'm going to jump down and try to engage on her. Not a great idea, especially with our hook off cooldown, because there is a Brig and a Reinhardt right here. We have to know that. So we've won the fight, a little bit greedy. We do get a great shot on the Ana, but it's not worth killing yourself over. We could have easily bought our time and just slowly won the fight.